would like to welcome all of you here. And really, today we are celebrating women in today's show, and women breaking barriers, women breaking glass ceilings. But nowhere is this more symbolic than today, than my panel today. It's really women breaking all frontiers where men are there, and I think giving them equal on the level playing field, if not more. So, Surgeon Commander Shazia, I would like to ask you first, what is it like being in a man's world, really?
Ma'am, actually, there's not much difference right now. The way things have been panned out, it's equal. Women and men are standing equally in Navy right now. So, Navy trains us for the same job. We all get equal training, and Navy measures us on our outputs. As long as you're performing, then there's no question of any gender disparity or inequality. We are standing shoulder to shoulder with our men counterparts.
But Lieutenant Commander Annu, when you first joined, did you ever feel कि आपके ऊपर कोई disparagement है, या was there any awkwardness? क्या कुछ जो men आराम से कर सकते थे, women did have an issue? कुछ आपको लगता था कि there was a difference?
Actually, I joined Navy in 2011, and when I first entered my squadron, my senior O said that it's the same. We have having women, and I did not felt it was very different from any other working culture. People welcomed with an open arm. They were ready to teach as a young officer, and I learned a lot working with them. Though that time I was only single lady officer in the squadron, but I did not felt any difference
at all. But Lieutenant Commander Sonam, एक सवाल है कि why the Navy? What made you choose the Navy as a profession?
Hello. Yeah. Actually, my childhood has always been influenced by Navy. My father has served in Navy. So, from the beginning itself, I have been with people around me in men in white, women in white that time. And yes, of course, that was my first priority, and I'm happy that I made that choice. Yeah.
But Lieutenant Commander Prerna, anything when you first went on the ship, I remember as a young reporter, I went on the Vikrant. And the first thing I saw, there were no loos for women on the warship. That was the first, and we spent the night over there, and I was the only woman. But I'm sure a lot has changed now. Even on warships, there would be. So, is तरह के any practical problems आपको लगे हैं being a woman?
Well, I'm a Naval Air Operations Officer. So prior joining the ship, I was actually airborne tactician. That is, I used to fly the aircraft, navigate it, carry out operations on sea. So I'll give you a small instance as to how we have evolved and how people are accepting the change. Change is very difficult to accept. Let's see, it's a very slow-moving process. So I was on board, I was on the Tupolov's 142M, that's a Russian aircraft. During the World War II, it was used. It was primarily anti-submarine warfare aircraft with MR reconnaissance. It flies for nearly 9.5 hours at a stretch. So it's not an easy task to train yourself in terms in all aspects, both physical and mental. So the day I step in my first day in my unit, the first question is, how am I supposed to do this? This was a battle within myself. Then I said, okay, I've come this far. It's no big deal. One by one, step at a time, whatever obstructions were there, we were able to solve. And the best support I could get was from my unit, who was predominantly male-dominated. I was the only single woman. I was apprehensive as to how it will happen. Will it work out, not work out? Initial jitters, I think everybody faces it. So even I went through the same, I'm no different. So the bonhomie, the coordination, the support, and the main important thing, understanding, was phenomenal in the organization. And after spending nearly 10 years doing the aircraft operations, Then training also, I'm a qualified navigation instructor, training my trainees who are both male and women, making them understand, not apart from operations, the basic functioning or the basic thing that you should know when you are in this amazing organization of the Indian Navy, or being a part of this family of our armed forces. Now when I joined the ship, it was again a different atmosphere altogether, right from air back on sea. And routine is different, the way we progress is different. And out here it is continuously out at the sea, defending the borders, the sea borders. Believe you me, it is only in our mindset, I would say. It's only in the mindset. It's nothing with respect to a male or a physical, anything. It is only in the mindset. And we performed. My, again, unit was understanding. And I think Lieutenant Anu will also agree, because she was also in my another sister ship. I'm from INS Chennai and she's from INS Kochi. Predominant, I mean, phenomenal effort and phenomenal cooperation we got from the unit, and that is why we could perform. And amazing family support, both families. We have out here, we have got two families, the actual family and the Indian Navy family, who actually support us, and the family who are there back.
That's very interesting. In fact, that's what I wanted to ask you, sir. Agar aap, all of you, thoda sa batayenge about the training. You know, what all is involved in the training. So, you know, people here can also, we have a lot of young professionals, college students. So, unko bhi thoda motivation milega about the Navy.
See, the Navy, if I'll put it in this way, the Navy transfers you from a girl to a woman. When we are in college, we are young girls. We are free birds. We have a lot of energy within us, but we don't know how to channelize it. I still remember when I joined academy, I could hardly run a kilometer or two. But once I entered academy, for now I can say I can run marathon. So that's the difference. You are untrained, you are raw, you are having lot of energy, but that energy is channelized once you enter the academy. They give you the guidance, they know your limitation, and they push you forward to explore yourself. And that is how I think you break the barrier.
Or aapke parents or family, how would they react, you know, when you said I want to join the Navy? Shazia Abbas?
Ma'am, I'm a doctor. So I did my MBBS from a civil hospital, that's Jipmer in Pondicherry. And I have grown up in a small town of Port Blair in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So I was surrounded by sea everywhere. I saw white uniform every day, my friends, their parents, and big ships everywhere. But I had bigger dreams. I wanted to join armed forces that time, but I performed well in school, extremely well, got MBBS. But I didn't give up on my hope, because that time my father was like, you should have a professional degree first. So then I broke the, that mold which my father had. I told him, now that I've done what you wanted me to do, let me join the armed forces. I have become a doctor. Now let me serve my country. Let me join the Navy. And then he was okay with it after the initial hiccup. But right now I would say I am here because of my parents, and I have got two very supportive sisters who are both doctors in the civil field. So I know what it's outside and what it's inside the defense forces. And believe me, it's much better inside.
I was going to ask you that, which one is better. But Lieutenant Commander Sonam, aapka also a little bit about your training when you joined. Or thoda sa aapko initially, did you feel ke maybe even the physical training, mental training jo hai, usme thoda sa aapko laga ke being a woman, mera koi drawback ho raha hai ya nahi?
As it has already been brought out by Anu, yes, initially everybody will have this backup ki hum kar payenge ki nahi, whether I'll be able to do it or not. But our seniors, that time in academy, how they have trained us, it's as already been said, it is all mental. You have to be prepared ki hame karna hai, and over a period of time with the training and all, you get used to it, and it is like you take every incident head on ki bhai I'll be able to do it. So initially, yes, hiccups are there in the physical training also, But we have this gradual process wherein slowly we are made tougher and tougher, and that's how we turn up to a tough officers as of now.
बट प्रेरणा, एनी मोर एग्जाम्पल्स के जब आप मेल कॉलीग्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं तो कभी होता है कि दिस टास्क आप नहीं कर पाएंगी, आप वुमन है, आर देयर एनी टास्क जो आप नहीं कर पाती हैं?
Ma'am, there's no task as such because every task we are trained to achieve the task together. So I would just like to say that the task or the enemy doesn't see the gender when it's trying to attack you. You need to know how to protect. We are protecting the sea borders. So I need to know everything. And per se, being very honest, women can multitask. Let's be clear. We have got two environments to look after. That's the home front and the office with different mindset. So I am a complete belief, because I am going through the same, that women can multitask. At one go, your mind, half the mind is going in office, the other half is going back home. Okay, is everything safe or no? So I'm of the complete opinion, we don't have time to waste. I think whichever task is assigned, we complete it to the full, because we know that there is some other task lined up which we have to achieve.
So I know very little about you all. Any of you married? Any of you, do you think usko, would that be an issue? How would your family feel about, the other part of your life, settling down, kids, what we call settling down? Uske bare mein, are there anything that you've thought about or anything?
Okay. Initially, my mother was very hesitant that she already had 2 sons. She said, I don't want a third son. That was me. But today she is a very proud mother, as she has 2 sons and a strong daughter. So that was my initial family, and I am married. I am married to a naval officer. He is Lieutenant Commander Ankit. He is navigating officer Visakhapatnam. And my in-laws are super supportive. I would say more supportive than my husband. Because the second family that I have got, I think all women would agree that this is the housing support, the support that you have from your family helps you to rise in your professional career. So that is very important. I have a 4-year-old son. He is well taken care of. When I am out sailing, he remembers me, but once I am home, I am with him. So as Lieutenant Commander Prerna brought out, we women are multitasking. We have to see both the fronts. We have to see our home, we have to see professional career, and we have to divide the time. And we have to complete the task well within time, so as to give proper time and care to both our lives.
Congratulations, very well said. Do you want to add something to this? Your personal...
Ma'am, I am single. What I have achieved till now is because maybe I should thank my parents, who despite having 3 daughters, thought it was worthwhile to educate all 3 of them so that they stand tall on their own feet one day. So I never felt I needed someone to compliment me, which is different from other point of view. But right now my support system are my parents and my 2 amazing sisters. And yes, my unit, the hospital where I work in, my department, Navy gives you a second family. So I know I have a backup if anything goes wrong.
I'll say. Can you tell us a little bit about life on the ship? Kya hota hai? Like, aapka regular day, what is it like?
Ma'am, life on board ship is obviously different. This being my first ship appointment, I'm serving on board INS Kolkata, which is a frontline warship. It is, I'll not say difficult, it is completely different. Morning till evening, there is nothing defined. You never know where you will be deployed to, what next mission you're going to get, where you're supposed to go. Everything is completely vague, and you have to be prepared for everything. So that is the only thing that I would say. It is like generally when we go for a normal office work, it's like subah jaake sham ko we'll come back. But here we are not aware. Abhi next kya hone wala? What is going to be the next task that is going to be given to the ship? So yes, it is different, but it is very exciting and adventurous. We all, I don't know whether all the other officers will agree, we all are always ready for all the challenges. जो भी आएगा, we'll do it. That way.
Very good. Anything you want to add? Will you ask the girls as to choose Navy as a career? What would be your?
What do you all think? You all will choose Navy as your career?
Are they convinced?
I'm not getting.
all of
Are
you?
you all convinced, or you want me to convince you all more? I think yes, definitely. Why not? Well, I'll give you a small instance, like when I had to decide what do I want to do in life. So, as usual, like a normal path where everybody goes through is engineering and doctor. That was, I think, in 2003 and 4. Everybody was going the normal path of being a doctor and an engineer. Even I was one of the crazy person. And despite getting a good score, I was unable to get a seat. So my father just asked me one question: what do you want to do in life? Do you want to serve, or do you want to have a business of your own? I said, business to nahi ho payega mujhse, I'm very clear. I said, I want to serve. Then he just said, what's the best way to serve is your country. And the best way to serve, so I said, okay, I'll join the Indian Navy. That time the ads had come. And first time in 2008, we had the Naval Air Operations Officer, the entry which had come out from the Navy. That is, the women were allowed to fly for the first time in the aircraft in the Navy. I said, what best way to do is to fly, like, have your wings spread. So I think, ma'am, Navy is, I would just like to say, it's a three-dimensional force. You have the air, you have the surface, that is while sailing, and you have the subsurface, that's the submarines. So in this three-dimensional force, I'm able to have the entire access. I mean, you can actually explore. So I feel, I don't know why, I mean, yes, it is tough, but it makes you mentally tough.
Well
And
said.
you can achieve anything in your life because you're mentally strong. So that's what Navy makes you.
Thank you so much. Today we have a panel of, I think the PM has Agni Veers, but we have a panel of Agni Strees with us. And we are, we shifted outside because I thought we should shoot near your office because your office is the sea. So thank you so much for this conversation. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.